Hello, this is Dr. Kamani, licensed clinical psychologist. Do you feel like your toxic job is like a high school nightmare? If so, this video is for you. This is for Black women in toxic jobs, and you're in a work environment where you question, did I not graduate from high school already? Okay, so this is an experience in which there's so much cattiness and just cliquishness and all these other things that you experience in high school, it feels like that's happening at your job too. Okay. So, again, this is going to be a short video in which I, again, am reflecting on my own experiences in a toxic job that I resigned from, in the hopes that I can support you if you are in a similar space. So, you might be at the beginning phases of thinking about how much you can't stand your job, okay? So my videos are just to really help you in terms of really reflecting on the job that you have, to have a space where somebody can validate what you're experiencing, someone who has gone through what you've gone through and made it on the other side, so that you can see that there's life after leaving a toxic job and that you can live much better. Okay. So when I say or when I ask, is this job like a high school nightmare? I got to the point where even though I work for a school district, and you may experience this also in your work environment, where the most difficult part of your job may be dealing with adults. Okay. So, particularly if you work with kids, you may encounter some challenging kids, but they can come nowhere near the insecurity that you might encounter with some adults who act out in very childish ways. So, some of the ways that you might see it might be gossiping, a lot of gossiping within the workplace. And I know that I experienced this in the sense that most of the people doing the gossiping were administrators, and they would be gossiping about other administrators, and or they will be gossiping about staff whom they either supervised or that they knew about something was going on with them. Okay. So it would be so much gossip. I would look at them like, I cannot believe that you were just smiling in this person's face, and now you're telling me about their very personal, sensitive information that I'm pretty sure they would not want anybody else to know. Okay. Now that gave me a heads up too, not to tell them any of my personal information. Okay. I gave them like very generic things about what was going on with me. I never gave them information. Okay. Because I heard and I saw what they did. Okay. So the gossiping. Another thing that you could tell, like if your job is like a high school nightmare, is if there's cliques at your job. So cliques in the sense of like the in group, the out group. Colette Elizabeth even talked about this in terms of like leadership, and that there really is an in group at many jobs. And so if you're on the outside of that group, it can feel very isolating. It can make you question your sense of security at the job, sense of belonging. Do I even belong here? So the cliquishness is a way, and something else I've seen, and you may have experienced it too. Within the cliques, they will look out for one another, and they will ensure that people within that clique get promoted. Okay, so people who may not be qualified, okay, but they're still getting promoted because of who they know. Okay, so it might be even a situation where people are getting promoted, and people around you, your colleagues, even yourself, are thinking, how in the world did this person get promoted? How did they get promoted? I don't understand. Okay. So the cliquishness. Another thing is when you have experienced, as I have, in terms of character assassination. So, in high school, sometimes people can like talk behind your back and all that kind of stuff, which is a little different than the gossiping. The gossiping is like, making up things about you, telling about your business. Character assassinations are more painful. Okay. and they're more harmful. So character assassinations in terms of, questioning your abilities, questioning your competence, saying very negative things about you. Okay. So I know I experienced that numerous times at that toxic job, but I kept trying to convince myself to just keep on, just don't stoop to their level and focus on what I need to do. Okay. But it does take a toll. So again, I wanted to just come on and just ask you again, my videos hopefully provide a space for you to self reflect and to think about, wow, okay, I'm not the only person going through this. A lot of Black women are going through this, but do I want to stay in this position? Do I want to stay in this life that I have right now because of this toxic job? Particularly if it feels like the toxic job is like all consuming, where it's kind of defining your identity and just your life, your quality of life, then again, it's a good time to think about opportunities. So with my videos, I like to share resources. I won't go over all the resources that I want to share with you, but I do like to emphasize therapy and how to access a therapist, particularly a Black therapist. So that information will be in the description section of this video. And I also have other resources to help you. Okay. So if you are at the point now that you are just like, man, I'm done with this. I'm so sick of this. I'm trying to figure out how to get out of here. Okay. So remember, I talked about that the videos in terms of who I'm talking to is on a continuum of those who might think I am starting to really not like this place. So you might be at the beginning stages. You might be at the other end where you're like, I'm trying to get out of here. Or you might have actually left. Okay. Now, for those of you who feel like I want to get out, or those of you who are near the stages of leaving, or you've already left, but there's still a lot of stuff that you still feel not yourself. You don't feel good, just in terms of thinking about the toll that the job has had on you, like a beat down. Okay. So feeling defeated, feeling very consumed with the job, being consumed with fear, feeling a lot of sadness, all those different things. Okay. So therapy is one option for you. Coaching is another option in terms of coming up with a plan to get out. And then I also have the master class. So the master class was what I did in collaboration with Anne-Marie Archer, the anti-HR lady. And the master class, you will be able to access the replay in which you'll be able to really learn some strategies, some tips about what you can do to move through fear, to address the grief process in relation to your job, come up with a wellness plan, and deal with that after effect, after garbage, after trauma, okay, once you even leave the job, okay? And then Anne Marie talks more in terms of the HR part, in terms of documentation, things to be aware of, templates, and how to get your coins, okay? So that masterclass, again, you can access the replay. The masterclass is called Save Yourself, Channel Your Inner Harriet, so that you can leave that toxic hustle job with your sanity and your coins, okay? Because sis, you have graduated, okay? You have graduated. You're way past high school graduation. You deserve better than being a catty, gossipy, treacherous work environments, okay? So there's better for you. Again, be open to receiving or even exploring what your options are, okay? So if you have not already subscribed to my channel, please do so. Lifting as we climb consulting wellness services. Please give this video a thumbs up and I will see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.